Hello tacticians, it's Nox here, and currently I'm looking at the test build because tomorrow we have the start of our new legendary event where we will get Commander Shadowsun, or to give her proper name, Shazo Tau Shazera. I think I'll stick to Shadowsun. And she does look pretty good, but we'll get to more of what she actually does in a little bit, because the most important thing to realise here is the milestone payout rewards have changed, which does make it a little bit more difficult to unlock. So everything is normal up until we get to this one here, the 7,500. Now it used to give us 110 engrams, and now it only gives us 105. And this pattern continues going up in fives for a little bit until we get to here where it jumps back up to 150. However, it's still behind what it used to be. So what does this mean for us wanting to unlock Shadowsun? Well, let's have a look at the numbers. Okay, boring spreadsheet, I do apologise. However, this kind of gets the point across about what the change actually does. So to unlock Shadowsun, we need to get to the tier 15 chest, which is 3,000 teaching engrams. Now there is a deduction that we can take into account whether we go free to buying both bundles. And that deduction ranges from 250 because we get the 10 quests, which gives us 250 engrams, to if you end up buying both, we get an extra 1,100 engrams as we do all the missions. So what does that actually mean? Well, put simply, you're now going to have to get to the next milestone reward payout to actually unlock Shadowsun. So before, we would need to get to the 12,000 milestone payouts if we went for free. Now, to get the same number of teaching engrams as we did before, we have to get to 12,500 milestone points. And really what this means is if we assume that we can get 500 points per battle, which isn't too far from the truth, as we'll see in a second, it will mean you'll have to do 25 of these battles instead of 24 before, which means on average you'll have to do 8.3 full clears per lane rather than the 8 that it was before. If you look at getting both, it goes from 6.3 lanes cleared to 6.6. Roughly, it's an estimate. But what it really does mean is you're going to have to go a little bit further to unlock. Okay, boring stuff out of the way. Now let's actually look at what's needed to unlock Shadowsun. So this is the alpha path, and as you can see we can only get 468 points from battle 1, so this 500 points per battle that I was assuming is already out the window. We're going to have to do a bit more. I don't know what the rest are, but just assume that it's going to be a little bit more than what we're used to. For battle 1, for the alpha path, our restrictions are having a full big target lineup, having a no psyker lineup. That one's not too difficult, and as you can see, you only get 40 from it. Have a minimum of 4 hits in your lineup, full power damage lineup, and full melee lineup. For beta, again, the points is actually going to be 462, so I'm a bit worried about my assumption. We may need to be doing more than the 500 per battle, so again, increase those values that we've just seen. And here we've got the full mechanical lineup, so Necrons and a few others. Full Astra Militarum lineup. That one I imagine is going to be tricky. Who has really got Cut or Sybil geared up that much? Then we got no bolter damage, not too bad. No piercing damage, again not too bad. And no summons, again not too bad. Those last 3 we could probably do in one go. Then you've got the Astra Militarum and the full mechanical lineup. So you've got at least 3 teams needed there. Finally for Gamma, again we've got the no piercing. We've got a full ranged lineup, a minimum of 3 hits lineup, full power damage again, and the full Black Legion lineup. And again, this is probably going to be proving tricky for some, because I imagine most people are probably going to be missing a Baden, and even if you're not, you'd have had to put quite a lot of resources into actually gearing them up appropriately. Now, I wish I had better news. This could be really difficult, but without playing the games, I really can't tell you. But at least now you can start planning on who you are going to need. So let's have a look at Shadowsun in action. Her first skill is the Exemplar of the Koyon, where she disappears and reappears on a target hex adjacent to an allied unit and immediately attacks the closest enemy target, dealing blast damage in addition to the normal attack. A command link drone will be summoned in the hex that she previously occupied. but it can't be used in the first round of battle. So I've got something set up here which is completely not real, thanks to the test system, thanks to Snowprint for allowing me to use it. And all these characters are at Silver 1, very much like how we'd have them in live PvP. So we've got Shadowsun over here, and we want to attack Calendus. So what we can do, Tajark can't quite get in to do his thing. He could use the grapnel to pull Calendus up, but we're here to see Shadowsun do her thing. So here's the exemplar of Koyon, and you can see lovely purple height saying I can move to any of these squares. And we want to move her to be within 2 of Calendus. Now I'm going to put her over here just in case she decides to shoot at Thaddeus from here instead of Calendus. And let's see what actually happens. Nearly, so nearly kills him. Maybe a lucky crit would actually take care of him in one go. But whilst we're here, let's finish him off. The second thing is the Defender of the Greater Good. Friendly units adjacent to Commander Shadowsun or the command link drone deal extra damage. Tau units have a 10% chance to deal an additional hit with a range attack for each round that has started since Commander Shadowsun was deployed, including the first. So it's that 10% chance which will increase over time. I haven't got a Tau unit here, and it's worthwhile noting here, even if you're a Tau unit, you have to be adjacent. So by moving forward 1, I'm still going to be adjacent, and we should pop Thaddeus. So she has 2 very useful skills to be used in PvP. The first is like Celestine, which will annoy many players. You disappear, you reappear somewhere else, and you do damage. The benefit that Shadowsun has here is it is ranged damage. It's actually melter damage, which means it's got a 70% pierce ratio, and that does mean quite a bit in the live PvP environment. And then you've got the additional blast damage on top, so it can really do some damage to a single target. You get in, you hit them hard, and then you've got a bit of a problem because you're now surrounded by the enemy. But if you use it in the later stages of the game, again, you could have a really good turn to swing the odds in your favour. Now that's not the only thing she's got. The command drone's great as well. She's a flying unit. She can just ignore all those barbed wires. However, it does mean she won't get any bonuses from tall grass and trenches. That's one thing I always forget. The second thing is she has camouflage. Ranged attacks against this character have -1 hit, which increases to -2 if it's more than 2 hexes away. And it says it increases to -3 when in tall grass, but we know tall grass doesn't mix with the flying, so we can ignore that one. But they will always score at least 1 hit. So Calendus's 1 shot may well end up killing her, but name me a character that Calendus doesn't kill in 1 shot. There's not that many of them. So overall, really, really promising character for live PvP, and I really hope I can manage to unlock her to show you guys how good this character actually is. I say good, I'm assuming she's good. I got excited about Abaddon. That was a mistake. So we've had to think about her from a PvP perspective. How will she fare in PvE? Namely, the guild raid bosses. Well, my immediate thought is, weirdly, she might be really good against Mortarion. Now, Mortarion rewards those with few hits. She's got few hits with a high piercing, as does Shosil. So you put Shosil and her in against Mortarion, and all of a sudden you could fire an additional time just by having Shosil standing next to her. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to affect the drones on the first turn, but it's certainly something that I'm going to be looking at as soon as I get to about Silver 1, Silver 2 with this character. Assuming, of course, I unlock her, which I really hope I do. She's obviously not going to be used in any of the campaigns, and the new campaign coming out is going to be Eldari versus 1,000 Suns, so she's not going to be used there. So her usability is literally the 2 areas. You've got the PvP and the guild raid bosses. We hope that she's going to be great in PvP, and I think there's room to experiment with the guild raid bosses. So overall, I'm giving this character a massive tick. I haven't been this excited about a character since Jane Czar. So let me know what you think of this new character. Are you going to try and unlock her? Have you already got it planned out? Or maybe you're like, another tag. Give me those 1,000 suns already. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll be seeing you on the battlefield.